RTX 4090. The RTX 4090 is finally here, and NVIDIA has sent out all the review units, and well, here's mine. Yeah, it turns out I'm still just a little bit too small to receive review units, and also I guess NVIDIA got tired of me calling out on their bull. Now, I may not be able to talk about a 4090, but what I can talk about is the RTX 3080. And a lot of you may be wondering, in fact, I know you are because you're in my Discord, and you're asking, hey, is a 3080 still worth it in 2022? After all, it's 2 years old at this point, and starting next week, we're gonna have the 4090, and then about a month after that, we'll have the 4080 12GB, 4070, and then the 4080 16GB. So is it even still worth it to spend the money on a 3080? And so today I figured we would just take a look at the RTX 3080 and look at the pricing and look at the performance. We gotta look at benchmarks, right? So we're definitely gonna do that. Now, I am here in America, so the pricing you see on screen may not be reflective of what's in your country if you're in another part of the world. And also keep in mind, while I'm talking specifically about the 3080, a lot of what I'm saying will also apply to other cards with similar performance and similar pricing, like the 3070, 70 Ti, and the 3080 Ti. Now, without any further ado, let's go ahead and start looking at different pricing options for the RTX 3080. And so looking at Best Buy, I can see you can get a gigabyte model of the RTX 3080 for $759.99. And all series cards are coming with a free copy of Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered. And honestly, that game is absolutely incredible. I cannot recommend it enough. And so if you're on the fence about buying a 30 series card, maybe that will give you a little bit extra incentive to go ahead and do it. I also see for a little bit more money, you can buy a Founders Edition 3080 Ti for $899 or $900, which is the same price as the RTX 4070, the 4080 12GB model. Now, the original MSRP of the 3080 Ti is $1,200. So this is $300 below MSRP, and it's a Founders Edition, and it's brand new, so you know it's never been mined on before. So again, not a bad deal. You can get a 3080 MSI Ventus for $739 right now from Newegg, and yes, you do still get the free copy of Spider-Man with that purchase. And of course, if you're comfortable purchasing a secondhand GPU, then eBay is another option. And looking at eBay right now, I can see that 3080s are going for about $600. This is the cheapest I've ever seen 3080s on eBay personally. And so again, if you're comfortable purchasing a secondhand GPU that may or may not have been mined on, this is another viable alternative. But now, with all the money aside, let's talk about performance. What kind of performance can you expect from a RTX 3080 in 2022? So I want to start off strong with Doom Eternal, and we're cranking everything up to the max with 4K Ultra Nightmare. Now, this is no ray tracing, no DLSS, no resolution scaling, and HDR is turned on. And as you can see, we have an average frame rate at 4K Ultra Nightmare of 106 FPS. Now, if we lower the preset down to Nightmare, you can see we have an average frame rate of basically 133 FPS. That is a very nice jump in performance from simply lowering one setting. And trust me, 4K Nightmare still looks incredible in this game. Now, switching over to 4K with ray tracing on, I tried 4K Ultra Nightmare ray tracing on with DLSS performance and with DLSS quality. And in the performance mode, you can see we have 134 FPS, and in the quality mode, we have 126 FPS on average. These are very respectable numbers. So if you're comfortable using DLSS and you want ray tracing on, you can expect very high frame rates in this game. Or if you're okay without the ray tracing, then you can run everything at a native 4K and still have very high frame rates. Next up, we have Horizon Zero Dawn. This works off a quality mode instead of it being ultra or maximum or anything like that. And so it's called ultimate quality, and favor quality would be the high preset. And so looking at the 4K benchmarks, we can see on ultra or ultimate quality, we have an average frame rate of 74 FPS, whereas on the favor quality or the high preset, we have an average frame rate of 77 FPS. So there's not much of a performance benefit from lowering the setting here, but that's okay. You might as well crank everything up and enjoy it because it is a beautiful single player story driven game. Now, switching over to the 1440 1440p benchmarks on the Ultra preset or Ultimate Quality, we have an average frame rate of 117 FPS, and on the High preset or Favor Quality, we have an average frame rate of 123 FPS. Now switching over to Shadow of the Tomb Raider, 4K, highest settings, we have an average frame rate of 82 FPS. 4K on the High preset, we have an average frame rate of 95 FPS, and so there is extra performance to be had by simply lowering the preset here in this game. Now switching over to 1440p, on the highest preset, we have an average frame rate of 150 FPS, and on the High preset, we have an average frame rate of 163 FPS. So it seems like whether if you're at 4K or 1440p, there is about an average frame rate of 13 FPS between these two presets. And now let's switch over to Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered on the PC, and running at a native 4K with a maximum preset, we have an average frame rate of about 75 FPS. If we lower that preset down to the High preset, then we have an average frame rate of about 82 FPS. And now switching over to 1440p at the maximum preset, we have an average frame rate of 74 FPS, and on the High preset, we have an average frame rate of about 75 FPS. Now finishing up with an esports title of Apex Legends, 4K, everything maxed out, we have an average frame rate of 125 FPS. 1440p, everything maxed out, we have an average frame rate of 207 FPS. And lastly, I included 1080p only because it is an esports title. Everything maxed out, we have an average frame rate of 223 or about 224 FPS. Okay, so is the 3080 worth it in 2022? Well, in my opinion, the answer is yes, but obviously that's gonna be up to you at the end of the day. But here's a few points to think about. So obviously the 3080 is better than every card that has come before it. And now there are multiple cards that are technically better than the 3080, but they also cost more money. The 4080 12GB model of the card that's coming later this year, even that card starts off at $900. I just showed you examples at the beginning of this video where you can buy a 3080 for just a little over $700. And if you buy it secondhand, you can get it for $600 and some change. At the end of the day, that is a really good value for the performance that you're getting. And as I've said in many other videos now, there are so many gamers sitting on old hardware, a 1060, a 1070. If you're one of those gamers, you can go to a 3080 and yes, the card may be 2 years old, but it's going to be a radical upgrade for you. And now you can buy a 3080 cheaper than ever. I made the video talking about why I'm skipping the 40 series cards, and I got so many comments from people saying, oh, you're gonna regret keeping your 3080. Your 3080 is outdated at this point, and all of that nonsense. I just showed you examples of games that are still relevant, that are still being played, that are still popular, and you can see for yourself the 3080 is doing a great job in those games at 1440p as well as 4K. And yes, I understand the Spider-Man benchmarks are a little bit weird. I reran those benchmarks multiple times. I kept coming up with the same numbers. I do see at the time of this filming today, there is a brand new update for Spider-Man Remastered. Possibly it fixes some type of bug that will improve the performance. I don't know. I haven't had a chance to test it yet. I will test it and let you know in the comment section down below. So check out that pinned comment. And hey, while you're down there, do me a favor and let me know what you think about the 3080 in the comment section. Do you think it's still worth it in 2022? Should people still buy it or should they avoid it? And also while you're down there, do me a favor, hit that like button because it goes a long way in helping me out. And check out this video for more benchmarks related to the 3080 and the 3070 and all that good stuff. And until next time, E-Rock out.